Welcome to another episode coming at you from chooseyourrelationships.com, author of Love Can't Wait, which can be found on amazon.com. So today I have a treat for you today. My special guest is a world famous speaker and life coach. He's a philosopher, author, and has guided many people through challenges of life. He is a knowledgeable, practical, and informative speaker, using his ancient wisdom and modern wit to captivate audiences around the world. He's YouTube's most popular rabbi. His videos on YouTube have been seen by over 20 million people. He's inspired the legendary Bob Dylan, Prince, to higher spiritual growth. His book, Doesn't Anyone Blush Anymore, is a New York Times bestseller. His latest book, Creating a Life That Matters, is already selling out bookstores worldwide. He was described as one of the great social philosophers of contemporary America by Oxford University. As an energetic and entertaining speaker and writer, my special guest today is Rabbi Manis Friedman. Welcome to the show.
Boy, that introduction took half the show.
So again, thanks for doing this. So man, you lived a long time, and so I just I was kind of surprised you did this, to be honest. But hey, it's first time for everything. So I'm glad you took the time to do this. But so where did you grow up?
Brooklyn, New York.
So how was New York City back in the day, in the 50s?
It was beautiful.
Really?
Yeah. Had trolley cars and every culture and every religion were all here. This was the center of everything, and it was beautiful. Now, the traffic is horrible, the crime is up, the weather is bad.
So, is it bigger than it was compared back then?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So how was
it? Keeps growing. It keeps growing. More people moving in, more apartments, more houses, but not more parking spaces. So you're better off walking.
Yeah, I can only imagine. I'm
Where are you?
I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Oh.
Yeah, you've been here before?
That's a suburb.
Yeah. So what type of family you came from? How was it growing up?
It was a little difficult. We came to America in 1950, right after the war.
Mm-hmm.
My parents were from Europe, escaped the Germans,
okay,
and the Russians, and the Ukrainians. So getting adjusted was a challenge, I suppose, for my parents, for sure. Kids are a little more flexible.
Okay.
So we learned a new language, got used to the new world, and watched the neighborhood change.
I heard about that. I have uncles. They lived in New York for, probably 50, 60 years. And they retired and they moved back to South Carolina. That's where we're from. And they never talk about how it was, though. I found that to be interesting. They never really talk about it.
That's amazing. My parents never spoke about Europe.
Yeah, they never talk about it.
It was like they closed that chapter and forgot about it.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, I just kind of leave it alone. So did you come from a religious family?
Yeah.
So you're pretty much born and raised?
Born to it.
Okay. So how was that? is a very is it you know I don't know much about I don't know much about a lot of religions, but how was it being Jewish? Is it a very strict religion?
It is demanding. Um, it felt it can feel like you're being cheated out of many experiences.
Okay.
So your life is pretty much guided and determined, and certain things you don't do, some places you don't go, and it feels really restricted. But looking at what has happened to society, I'm really glad I didn't go that way.
A lot of women today would say, "I am being oppressed."
Yeah. No, we were spared a lot of bad experiences and heartache and a lot of scars we would have had.
Yeah, especially living in a big city, man. I'm telling like New York City, it's huge. I couldn't. I'm happy. I'm from a small town. I'm from the Myrtle Beach area, small
Yeah.
town.
Where
You know,
life is more leisurely. So
yeah,
you have time. You're not always in a hurry. You're not always behind the clock. Then your life is livable.
yeah,
But the pressures of big city, I don't know. It's hard to even call it a life. It's just a struggle to survive.
yeah. It's just too much going on. It's hard. You don't really have time to think about much.
Yeah.
And you're too busy ripping and running.
And it's hard to create your own environment.
Yeah,
You're always exposed to environments that you did not create or choose.
yeah.
So you're not really in control of your life, and that doesn't feel good.
No, you know. That's why a lot of people are stressed.
Very high stress level here.
Yeah.
That's why
So,
everybody's running to Florida.
well, yeah, they retire. I think they retire or they get to a point where they just get tired, you
Yeah.
know, and they want, I guess, peace of mind. You know, that's what I think.
So are you from a religious family?
Yeah, I grew up Methodist. My parents were Christians.
But religious?
Yeah.
Now you can belong to a group, but you never show up, so you're not really religious. But your
Well,
family was practicing
yeah. Growing up, we went to church twice a week
twice.
for about my goodness, until I was about 17, and then 18 I went to college, and then I went in the military, and then I went in the Navy.
So
So
what part of that stuck with you?
being with just growing up,
Yeah.
uh, I think my just my upbringing, what my parents taught me, about just living and just just dealing with people. I think that sticks with me because everywhere I go, I still have that foundation. And regardless of how bad things get, or negative or positive, or regardless of what happens, I still have that foundation that I can always pull on.
So it does make a difference.
No, it doesn't. You know, and I realized over this past 20 years, that peace of mind is priceless. You can't throw money at it. You can't, it's just like you can't really. It's just something that means a lot to me.
People want to be spontaneous. People want to just have fun. They don't want to have to stop and think all the time. Should I? Shouldn't I? Can I? Can't I? But the only time or the only way you can really be spontaneous is when you know that the safety net is there to catch you.
Yeah.
If there's no safety net and you go out there on the rope, you're not being spontaneous. You're
No,
being reckless.
exactly.
Not the same feeling.
Yeah.
So, in order to really be spontaneous, you got to put the rules in place. You know they're there to protect you. Now you can be spontaneous.
Yeah.
With no rules, you're not spontaneous. You're
No.
just chaos.
Yeah.
You're just all over the place. It's not spontaneous.
Yeah. You know, it's not much room for error.
Mhm.
If there's no safety net.
Right, right. And
Yeah.
that adventure, of taking a risk, some people can enjoy that. They love the risk,
Yeah.
but that's not the same as spontaneous.
No.
Spontaneous means there's no risk. I can relax and enjoy.
Yeah. Yeah. So when did you get to a point where you I guess started speaking, started writing, started teaching other people your wisdom? When did you get to that point?
I was listening to a speaker, and I was kind of jealous because I was very bashful. I couldn't speak in public. So I'm listening to this speaker, and he is so calm, he's so comfortable with what he's doing that during the questions and answers, he fell asleep. He must have been very tired, and he just dozed off in the middle of a question. I
Man.
thought, well, if it's that easy, I'm going to try it.
Man. Man, I thought you was gonna say somebody like the older guys from back in the day, like Zig Ziglar, and a lot of the older guys were in the past, stuff like that.
Well, they were salesmen.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm a salesman, so I can't use the same gimmicks.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
But
like
Zig Ziglar said, now that you mention him, he went to a funeral, and he got there a little early to the funeral home, so there was nobody there yet. So he's talking to the manager of the funeral home. He says, "How many people do you expect?" And the guy said, "The average human being affects about 200 people in the course of their life. So about 200 people show up to the average funeral." So Zig Ziglar said, "From then on, every customer I spoke to, I imagined I was talking to 200 people." And that made him such a great salesman. Now that's a good lesson. Every person you talk to is really 200 people. Family, friends, acquaintances. Over the years, 200 people. That's interesting.
yeah. I never looked at it like that.
So there's really no such thing as an individual.
But yeah, they say we're all connected.
To at least 200 people.
Yeah.
Some have more.
Yeah, I've heard people say that. And once I thought about that, I said, well, you know what? That kind of makes sense in some ways, but,
It certainly changes the tone of the conversation.
for sure.
If you think you're talking to 200 people, you talk different.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. So, what do you think about, I guess, the relationships and how, just American society? Other places are very different. What do you think about relationships in American society today?
I think it's very shallow and causing a lot of pain and a lot of grief. And the culprit, the bad news, is that people want love,
Yeah.
and they get married for love, and they get into relationships for love, and they kill for love, and they die for love, and they worship love, and it's one big mistake.
Exactly.
Stop with all the love already. It's bad news.
I always say that I always ask people, I say, which is better in your opinion, respect or love? Most people pick love. I always say respect is better.
You're absolutely right.
Because the love could change next week, 6 months, a year, 5 years, but respect could last for a lifetime. Even when you pass and passed away.
Yeah, that is so true.
Yeah, because like even at some of the people in history, love whether you like them or hate them or whatever, people are still talking about them. Whether you agree or disagree with what they did, but people are still talking about them because there's a certain level of respect there. But they don't say, "Hey, I love them." No, no one ever says that.
There's something very wrong about the attitude that if I love you, when I love you, you are the most important person in the world. If I stop loving you, you're garbage.
Yeah,
There's something very nasty about that.
you go from the hero to the zero,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden, if you like,
So everybody understands if I want to marry you for your money, everybody would be offended.
oh yeah,
Why? Nothing wrong with money.
no,
But if I marry you for the money, I'm really married to the money and not to you.
exactly,
So if I say I want to marry you for your money, what I'm really saying is, can I just have the money?
yeah.
Does it have to be so complicated?
They make it complicated.
Right. You're not going to just give me the money, so I'm going to have to marry you. Okay, I'll marry you. But I'm really marrying the money. Now, isn't that exactly the same thing if I marry you for love?
Yeah,
I'm not married to you, I'm married to the love.
yeah,
So just keep the love coming. I don't want to hear your opinion, your moods, your needs. Hey, I didn't marry you for that. I just married the love. The rest of you, I'm not interested in. So I'm not really married to you. I'm just married to the love. Just as bad as the money.
yeah.
Actually, money is more useful.
Yeah, because I always say that some your roles, the roles in relationship is much more important than love, because your roles is understood. It's like part of the foundation of the relationship.
It's stable.
Exactly, and it's like consistent. But if the love, that can change, and as soon as you stop loving me, you stop doing everything.
So it turns out that when I love you, it's really about me, not about you.
Yep.
But when I respect you, then it's about you, not about me.
Yep.
So love is really quite a selfish thing.
Yeah.
So being intimate and calling it making love, that is so confusing.
Very.
You're not making love. You don't make love. It's a feeling.
Yeah.
And what you're doing is far more important than love. You're making a baby, actually.
Yeah.
You don't always succeed. And you don't always want to succeed. But what you're doing is making a baby. You're not making love. So we got to stop with this love. Blaming everything on love, putting all your hopes on love. If your kids are unhappy or misbehaving, it's because you don't love them enough. said, but I do love them. No, not enough. I love them with all my heart.
Yeah.
You need a bigger heart. No, it can't be. It can't be that everything hinges on love. It's like a false god. You
Yeah.
worship love, and it disappoints you every time. So a marriage for love is nonsense. This
Yeah.
couple came to me and said, "We're very much in love and we want to get married. Will you do the wedding for us?" I said, "You're in love?" They said, "Yes." I said, "Then it's too late. Then
What
why
did
are
they
you, then why are you getting married? You're getting married for the love that you already have? Then what do you need the marriage for?" Marriage has to exist independent of love.
Yeah.
Or, in different words, you have to love marriage. Otherwise, don't do it.
Yeah.
So don't get married because you love someone. You love someone, enjoy it. What are you getting married for?
Exactly. That's
Because
how.
you want something more than love.
But I think they we've been sold a fantasy by Hollywood.
Yes, yes, exactly right.
So
Hollywood.
yeah, and then you have growing up, you had what the television, you had the cartoons, you had like and then you had the Disney Channel, and then you had the movies, Hollywood movies. So and we get brainwashed to believe a lot of this stuff, and if there's nobody around to tell us better, and we just when we get out here, we're lost, and we start making too many mistakes, and then you pick up baggage, and then hopefully, if the older you get, you learn better. But a lot of people, it doesn't work that way.
It seems like, I'm not sure, it seems like the old original television entertainment was just there to entertain. It
Yeah.
wasn't there to give you a moral lesson or to tell you what to think or what to believe or what politics to follow. It was just pleasant distraction, like the cartoons. But then all of a sudden, there are messages.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, the media is being used to mess with people's thinking. That's bad news.
Yeah, it definitely changed. Even when I was growing up, there were no shows on to help me think. It wasn't. People didn't even talk like that. Hey, what's the message? What's the
Mhm.
what's the
Yeah, you
story?
didn't want to think. That's what I'm watching television for. I want
Yeah,
to stop thinking.
exactly. It wasn't. People weren't even talking about. You didn't have directors and producers saying stuff like, "Hey, what's the story? What's the big idea in this movie?" They weren't even talking like that.
Yeah. And then eventually, even the news stopped being news. It became opinion.
Yeah, yeah. So
So turning off all of that would be the healthiest thing.
exactly.
Well, except podcasts.
Well, yeah, I agree with that. I think I haven't watched cable TV in 15 years.
Really.
No, I haven't watched in 15 years. I don't I just choose to watch or hear what I want to hear and watch. I think that's better than you just flipping through the cable. And watching the news. If you watch the news, you swear that, man, it's doom and gloom. We're all going to hell. We're not gonna make it. We all got a chance in hell. You would think if you keep watching it long enough, you would think that, man, we're not gonna make it. I don't care who you are, you're not gonna make it. You're just you're dead on arrival. You keep listening to that stuff long enough, you start to be brainwashed after a while.
Yeah. One of the really bad brainwashing ideas is the message you deserve. Every commercial. Buy this product because you deserve.
Yeah.
Yeah. Use this hair treatment because you deserve hair. What do you do to deserve hair?
I don't know.
Like, what do you tell the bald guy? What do you do? Send away his hair?
I thought your hair just grow. You didn't have that to do with it.
It's such a bad message because children grow up with this. You deserve. And then you go through life and you don't get everything you think you deserve. And then you get really turned off to life. Because if I can't even get what I deserve, then life stinks.
Yeah.
And that's the attitude that we end up with. Turned off to life.
Yeah. So what do you think about the internet, social media?
Well, for my purposes, it is the best thing that ever happened.
Yeah.
In other words, for sharing information, nothing like it ever. The rest of it is horrible.
Yes, definitely pros and cons. It's unfortunately, everyone has. If you have a phone, you have a voice. Whether you choose to use it or not, that's on you. But there's no filtering, so I guess you can kind of say, that's kind of the negative side of it, depending on who you talk to. Some people would say, well, everyone should be able to say what they want to say or whatever's on their mind. Now, I don't necessarily believe that. Everybody? Yeah. But I understand that way of thinking,
Everybody has a right to say whatever they want to say.
Yeah.
But then they believe that when I say it, people should take me seriously.
There you go.
Not guaranteed.
Yeah.
I guarantee you freedom of speech.
Mm.
But I can't guarantee you an audience. Nobody wants to hear what you have to say.
Yeah.
So people get really upset. Nobody's listening to me. Yeah, because what you're saying is nonsense.
Yeah.
So the truth of it is, if we have a healthy attitude towards life, we realize that nobody deserves anything. That word should not even apply to life, because in life you get everything for free. You don't have to deserve it. Like, what does a baby do to deserve being born?
Exactly.
Hasn't done anything. And then for a couple of years, he isn't going to do anything.
Exactly.
Except keep his mother awake.
Yeah. I would say, look, I was talking to somebody about that a couple of weeks ago. And I said, hey, when I was born, I just happened to be born. I didn't have anything to do with it.
Right. So it's for free.
Yeah.
Your health is for free. You don't do anything to deserve being healthy.
Yeah. So I know you meet people that say, hey, I'm not happy. What can I do to be more happy? I know you meet people that ask you questions like that.
Yeah, that's another big problem. The pursuit of happiness.
The movie.
Yeah, that's also Hollywood.
Yeah.
You don't pursue happiness. Like, I gotta get happy. Really? Good luck. What do you mean? A healthier thing is, don't try to be happy. try to be more enthusiastic. Put a little more energy into what you're doing and do it with your whole heart. That's not happiness, that's enthusiasm.
Yeah.
If you live with a little more enthusiasm, happiness comes on its own. But don't pursue happy. There's nothing you can do to turn on happy, but you can be a little more enthusiastic. Put a little more energy into what you're already doing anyway. That will produce happiness. And in order to be more enthusiastic, you got to feel grateful. When you feel grateful, you become enthusiastic. If I'm getting paid more than I'm working, like I'm getting paid for 2 hours of work and I only did 1 hour of work, I'm grateful. And in that job, I will be enthusiastic. So if I'm grateful and enthusiastic, hey, I'm happy.
Hey,
But if you think you deserve everything you get and more, now you're never going to be happy because whatever you get, you want more. And you think you deserve it. So if you don't get it, you become really upset.
Yeah. A lot of people live their whole lives like that. It's always like the next new thing, next new car, next new clothes, next new woman,
right,
next new job.
And if I don't get it, it means God is being mean. You don't like me. Well, that's not going to lead to any happiness.
No. Yeah.
But if everything we get is a gift, then you're more likely to feel grateful, to enjoy what you have, to become enthusiastic about the life you do have, and then you can be happy. Got to hear this little description of life. This guy is complaining to God. He says, God, I work hard, I try my best, I got nothing. I have no life. I'm down to $20. That's it. I got no life at all. Give me a life. So God says, I'll give you the life for the $20. You give me the $20 and I will give you a life. Wow, that's a bargain. But then the guy says, but wait a minute. If I give you the $20, how am I going to afford gas for my car? Gas is up to $20 a gallon. Or it's going to be soon. So God says, oh, you have a car. Okay, so give me the car and the $20 and I'll give you a life. So the guy says, okay, but if I give you the car, how am I going to get to work? And God says, oh, you have a job? Give me the job, the car, and the $20 and I'll give you a life. The guy says, but wait, if I give you the job, how am I going to pay the mortgage? And God says, oh, you have a house? Give me the house, the job, the car, and the $20, and I'll give you a life. He says, give you the house? Where's my family going to live? God says, oh, you have a family? Give me the family, give me the house, give me the job, give me the car, give me the $20, and I'll give you a life. The guy says, okay, I'll do anything for a life. So then God says, good. Now, here's $20. Here's a car. Here's a job. Here's a house. And here's a family. See? Now you have a life.
That's a good story.
You don't realize you have a life? And it's all for free? And you're complaining you have no life?
Yeah, there's a lot of people like that.
You have a good life. You're neglecting it.
Yep. Yeah. So let's talk about your latest book, Creating a Life Matters. How did that come about?
Well, it began as a collection of topics, because it is. It's a bunch of different topics.
Okay.
But this woman who had been listening to my lectures, who was actually born in China, she had this one child later in life, and she thought, is there an instruction manual for how to raise a child? I don't know how to raise a child. And when she heard the lectures, she said, that can be a useful guide in how to raise children. So she sat down, gathered all the lectures, transcribed them all, and wrote the book. I didn't write a single word.
Man.
But I said it.
Yeah.
So now she says, now we have a manual with which you can raise a child. Because you can tell them what life is about. You can tell them why they were born. You can tell them what God expects of them. You can tell them what it takes to be a decent human being, how to be in a relationship, what happens after you die, all the big issues. You have something to say to your kids. People today are afraid to have children because they won't be able to answer their questions. So they don't have children.
Man, I didn't know that. That's a new one to me. I didn't know that.
Some kid is going to say, why was I born? I don't know what to tell him. I'm going to tell him you were an accident.
Well, you probably won't say that, but it's probably the truth.
And that is a problem, by the way.
Yeah.
Children are being born without any intention on the part of the parents.
Yeah.
Not good. Child does not really feel welcomed into the world.
No.
See, again, that's big city syndrome.
Yep.
Who has time to think?
No.
But in a more quiet life, people were a little more thoughtful about their lives.
Yeah.
I mean, the scene in a television show, this husband comes home and he's surprised because there's dinner on the table and there's a candle and there's a tablecloth, and he says, whoa, what's going on? And the wife says, I have a surprise. He says, what? She says, I'm pregnant. And he can't believe it. What? You can't believe it? I mean, you had nothing to do with it? Why are you so surprised? You were being intimate, and babies are born that way. Why are you so shocked?
I don't know. I don't know why.
Because children was the last thing on his mind, even while he was making the baby.
Yep, I can believe that.
That's not nice.
No. Yeah.
If you make me, think about me.
Exactly. Man, I could talk to you all day, all day long, man. I respect your time. So, if people wanted to follow you, where would they go to?
Go to YouTube or to our website. It's good to know. It's good to know.org. There
you have it. Like, share this episode. All links will be found in the show notes. Until next time, we out. Peace.
'Cause it's